Ladies and gentlemen, in just a few hours from now, America will vote in an election that is now down to the wire for the 538 seats. Will it be Donald Trump or would it be Kamala Harris? Who will have the last laugh and get the winning mark of 270? That's an answer not just the Americans want, but the entire world has its eyes, ears, and now perhaps anxious heartbeats on. Last-minute outreach by the two candidates, the political war of words, and the ever-changing opinion polls. All of it has been a culmination of months of campaigning, twists and turns aplenty, including two major assassination attempts and a midway candidate change. A few red states are reportedly turning blue and vice versa. The uncertainty of the 7 purple or swing states remain. A tight race has ensued in Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Arizona, Wisconsin, and Nevada. However, till polls last came in, Republican Donald Trump was leading his rival Democrat Kamala Harris in most of the crucial swing states. Now, about 70 million Americans have already cast their votes in early voting. Voters have participated either by mail or through early in-person voting. The rest of the Americans, which also includes immigrants, will vote on the 5th of November, followed immediately by a rather complex system of counting of votes, which might end on the 6th of November or will take a few weeks. The deadline for that is 11th of December. Now, as far as their pitches to Indian Americans is concerned, both Kamala and Trump reached out to one of the largest immigrant groups in the US. Indian origin Kamala Harris keeps evoking her roots, while Donald Trump recently condemned the attack on Hindus in Bangladesh while extending his wishes on Diwali. What would a Trump presidency mean for NRIs and the India-US relations? On the show tonight, we will get a Republican perspective right from United States. But before I get in my guest on Global Mirror, Ritangshu Bhattacharya is here with us, giving a quick explainer on how the US polls work. Ritangshu, take it away.
Well, thanks for that. So the big buzzword here in everyone's mind is how exactly do the US elections work? How are they separate from different from the Indian elections? And is it possible for someone to get more votes but not be elected as president? Well, that's happened before, most recently in 2016. First, look at the similarities here. So we have 240 eligible voters in the United States here. And once again, just in the case of India, where you do not elect your prime minister directly, you elect the person who elects the prime minister. In the same case in the United States, you elect an elector who then elects the president. Here, the total electoral votes, similar to the total Lok Sabha MPs, is 538. In India, remember, the halfway mark is 272. In the United States, the halfway mark is 270. So the first person to get 270 electoral votes becomes president here. Now, these 270 votes, electoral votes, are divided on the basis of states. Each state gets a number of electoral votes proportionate to its population, which is why the big states have more representation. The small states, not so much. Now, here is where the differences start coming up. And let's now proceed to the next important data point here. The key difference, as we mentioned, one, the electoral votes are demarcated on the basis of states, not in an overall homogeneous unit like we have in India. Now, here's the key difference here. Say in Uttar Pradesh, which has 80 Lok Sabha seats here, it is possible for, say, the BJP to get 50 and for the Samajwadi Party to get 30 based on the number of votes they get. However, in the United States, in every state, it's winner take all. So, for instance, in a state like Texas, which is one of the largest states with 38 electoral votes, if a Republican candidate, in this case Donald Trump, even if he gets one vote more than Kamala Harris, he gets all 38 electoral votes in his kitty. So, winner take all is a very important thing. And as a result, historically, there are some states which have always voted Republican. Historically, there are some states which have always voted Democrat. So these are states which are seen as banker states. There are some states which are known to swing between Republican and Democrats, and those are known as the swing states. The election always focuses around them. Some states, though, as we mentioned, only 2 of them, unproportionally divide the votes, not on the basis of winner take all. Then, of course, these college of electors or the electoral college then decides to cast their vote in the beginning of January, and the next president takes oath on the 28th of January here. Now, most cases here, if you have elected a Republican elector, the Republican elector will vote for the Republican candidate here. There is hardly been a chance, but there has been a switch. But that procedure exists. So let's then wrap it up by comparing the two electoral processes. As we see, 538 electors are selected based on each state's results here. So it's possible theoretically that if you combine all the votes, maybe you would have gotten more votes. But in the basis of the winner take all, you would have gotten lesser votes electorally. Now, so an electoral vote is essentially a representative republic. A popular vote is a direct democracy. That's the big difference here. The next important difference is that we look at citizens voting for a delegate based on party affiliation. Citizens vote for their choice of official here. So, for instance, in a popular vote, you vote directly for the person you want to be at the head of state. Electoral vote, you elect the person who will elect the head of the state here. Delegates convene, as we said, at some point for the next 2 months and convene and cast their votes here. In a popular vote, such as in India, votes are counted, and on the basis of popular majority, the winner is announced. So this is roughly the difference between American elections and elections which we are familiar in India. The things to keep in mind as you track the counting process in the United States is, one is which way are the swing states heading, and based on that, who reaches the magic number of 270. Once that's done, the official process will still take 2 months, but as we know, it's more or less done and dusted once someone reaches the magic figure of 270. Back to you in the studios.
Very much for giving us that explainer on how the US polls work. Let's also get in my guest on Global Mirror to talk about how he thinks the US election will be panning out. On the broadcast, I'm joined by Mr. Shalabh Kumar, Republican Party GOP, also chair of Indian and Hindu coalitions. Mr. Shalabh Kumar, good evening.